Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us for this week's or today's featured Broker Hunter Career Webinar. We're glad to have back Fidelity Investments, and today they're going to be talking about opportunities throughout the state of New Jersey. Before I introduce our first speaker, I want to go ahead and do a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, we will be having a Q&A session at the end of the formal presentation. Just make sure that you ask the questions down below to the Q&A or maybe to the side, depending on how you have it configured, but go ahead and ask questions to the Q&A section of your webinar toolkit. There's also a chat section. Try not to ask questions there. Let's try to keep them all within the Q&A section. Next, we are recording this webinar. We're going to be sending everybody out a link to the recording at the end of the live event. Usually takes us a couple of hours, so give us a little bit of time to get that out to you after the live event. And we're also going to have very specific instructions should you wish to contact Fidelity and pursue career opportunities with them. So with that being said, I would like to introduce our first featured speaker for today, Mr. Damon Vartabedian, who is the market leader for New Jersey. Damon, welcome.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Fidelity Investments, I want to welcome you to our virtual information session. We're hiring, and we're hiring aggressively across the country in both our investor centers and our regional centers, and we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And we're really excited to tell our story and answer as many of your questions as we can. Again, my name is Damon Vartabedian. I'm the market leader for our New Jersey branch locations. By way of background, I've worked in the industry for 16 years, all with Fidelity, and all of that time, as a matter of fact, in the branches where I've served in just about every role, and you'll hear about the different roles in a few minutes. I've also been a certified financial planner since 2011. I came to Fidelity mainly because my father retired from the firm after 25 years. And as I grew up, I came to appreciate more and more just how happy and fulfilled he was, and how he was always able to make time, despite having a really challenging and demanding position, to be fully present with me and my family for every step of my childhood. I was always interested in financial services and absolutely always interested in helping people. And I knew firsthand that Fidelity could offer me both a fulfilling career and a fulfilling life equally. So 16 years in, I'm thankful every day that I chose this path, and I'm thrilled to be here. To get into a little bit more of the personal, I live in Wyckoff, New Jersey, with my wife, Allison, my 3 kids. They're 2, 4, and 6, keeping us super busy these days as we try to work full-time schedules from home, the both of us. I'm a graduate of Boston College, where I also completed my MBA. So that's me. And with me today are a couple of fantastic leaders from our other New Jersey branch locations. Ashley Casera from our Morristown office, Rob Kriskowski from our Bridgewater team. I'll have them introduce themselves in more detail as we move forward today. So let's get into the agenda. You can go to the next, there we go, perfect. So, we're here today because, like I said, Fidelity's hiring, and sometimes it feels like we're the best kept secret in the industry, and we absolutely don't want to be. I'm going to talk a bit about who we are and why Fidelity, and then I'll transition to my colleagues to cover the remainder of the topics to see there on the screen, before, like I said, trying to answer as many questions as we can for you. So on the next slide, it usually comes up. To save you the trouble of having to ask or having to Google it, in front of you are our 9 New Jersey branch locations. We won't talk about each of them specifically. And also, we won't really be talking too much about the regional centers across the country, but I did want to share with you those locations because, like I said, it does come up. We're located in Merrimack, New Hampshire, Covington, Kentucky, Raleigh, North Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Westlake, Texas, Salt Lake City, Utah, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Denver, Colorado. And again, we're actively looking for candidates in all the locations on the screen, as well as in our regional centers that I just mentioned. So one more thing I want to share before, well, we can go to the next slide, that's fine. But want to talk about at Fidelity, we're committed to safeguarding the health and well-being of our clients, of our associates, and you, our candidates. So we're actively monitoring the situation around COVID-19, and at the same time, continuing to hire in order to serve our clients around the globe. Our existing associates, including those that have come on board since the pandemic began, and there's many, many of those, they're working from home with 100% capability to perform their roles almost exactly as they would in the office. I guess, of course, they're meeting clients through video 100% of the time versus what were mostly in-person meetings before. I want to point out that while I recognize many firms are operating this way, we didn't blink when we quickly moved to the fully virtual branches. Our advisors are actually conducting higher volumes of appointments and planning interactions now than they were pre-COVID. And it's because we're generally ahead of the curve when it comes to things like technology. So anyway, to get back to safety and well-being, to ensure your safety as a job candidate, we'll be relying on virtual interviewing and other types of digital communication. And our recruiting team is committed to providing you the support you need during the hiring and the onboarding process. And we really appreciate your understanding, your patience, and your flexibility during these crazy times. So back to it, who's Fidelity Investments? It's a really loaded question, but we've boiled it down to really 5 key areas that we feel strongly set us apart from the competition. So first, we're a privately held organization founded in 1946. We've thrived through 3 generations of private ownership. And so the decisions that we make are solely based on the needs of our clients, nothing else. So we don't worry about quarterly earnings or shareholders to answer to. So we can take a truly long-term approach in our thinking. And it's one of the reasons why we can accelerate growth through hiring in uncertain times like these. Second, our business model is very, very different. We're powered by what we refer to as the Fidelity Advantage, which I'll get into on the next slide. But simply put, we have enormous and loyal existing client base and institutional feeders of business that are unparalleled in the industry. And I'm excited to share more about that in just a moment. Third, we're committed to investing significantly in the use of technology to innovate the associate and the client experience. So I talked a little bit about that a moment ago, but also more than 20% of our 40,000 employees at Fidelity serve in a technology-related function. And our chairperson, Abby Johnson, often reminds us that we're a technology company that just happens to be in financial services, and it couldn't be more true. Fourth is our relentless commitment to our clients. Everything starts at Fidelity with the client, and everything ends with the client. And it's not something that we just say, it's something we practice. Hiring the best team of diverse advisors is the backbone for delivering a superior client experience. So we work really, really hard to attract, to hire, and to retain the best so that we can be the best in everything that we do for our clients. And finally, our greatest asset is our people. We work tirelessly to develop everyone to ensure our people feel like Fidelity is a career, not a job. So we operate on the principle of Kaizen, which is the Japanese word for continuous improvement. You can't get stale here. People who aren't pushing hard to be better tomorrow than they are today are not a good fit for Fidelity Investments, and it's really important that you understand that before coming on board. From the next slide, I mentioned our differentiated business model and what we refer to as the Fidelity Advantage. At the end of the day, there is no firm like us in the industry, and I'll highlight a few reasons why. So first, our business model and scale. 1 in 4 Americans has a Fidelity retail account. We have the most millionaires, we have the most women, we have the most millennials, the most retirees, pre-retirees, essentially the most everything. We have more clients than we have advisors to help, which enables us to literally hand advisors a book of 300 to 400 households with north of $500,000 in assets at Fidelity. And again, it's one of the key reasons we're talking to you all today. And we also have, as I mentioned, institutional feeders of business that are unmatched in the industry, which brings me to opportunity alignment. The opportunity, like I said, is unparalleled. On top of the stats I gave you before about our client base, on the institutional side, we administer workplace plans for more than 23,000 companies, stock plans for hundreds of the largest firms out there. And this presents advisors with new opportunities literally almost daily to meet new clients and help them with consolidation and with creating and implementing financial plans. And yeah, you heard me right. There's no cold calling, there's no prospecting. They literally come to us, and the hardest call that you'll ever make is to an existing Fidelity client not expecting to hear from you that day. So like I said, there's really no firm like us in the industry. And then finally, we have great stability here. Does everyone stay in an advisor role forever? Nope. Like me, some have aspirations to move into leadership. Some want to specialize. And there are many paths which exist in all areas of the business. It's the beauty of working for a very large, diverse firm. But many do stay in the role for the long haul. And the proof is in our VP financial consultants. They have an average tenure of over 12 years. And when I think about why that is, no doubt a part of it's the fact that our business model allows our advisors to do what they do best, talk to clients, build relationships, create and implement financial plans with no prospecting or cold calling. But we also have a team of specialists to support our advisors. So our support is extensive, whether it's one of the many coaches partnering with you to succeed, our digital platforms, our 24/7 phone support teams, or the central teams that do the bulk of your appointment setting on your behalf. So I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is true, 100%. And the last thing I'll mention, while we don't dive deep into compensation today, another thing that keeps advisors in the chair is the fact that we've designed the comp plan so that it can be a destination role. We're really, really proud of that compensation plan because it aligns fully with the client, so much so that we publish the details of that plan on Fidelity.com. So you can search compensation disclosure and get a full look at it right on the web. So we all sleep really, really well at night because we're always doing the right thing for the client. So I've said a lot. Thanks for listening. I'm going to turn it over to Ashley Casera to continue.
Thanks, Damon. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Casera. I'm the Assistant Branch Leader of the Morristown Investor Center. Been in the industry 13 years, all with Fidelity. And with each new hire I bring on, they all tell me the same thing, how lucky I am to have begun my career with Fidelity. So since I started, I've worked in a variety of roles in the Investor Center. I also spent 3 years supporting our region of branches, focusing on how we deliver an exceptional experience in our Investor Centers and how to make the functions of the branch as efficient as possible so we can spend the majority of our day really meeting and speaking with our clients. To take a quick step back, through college, I interned at a full-service firm and believed upon graduation that I would probably just take an offer with them. But when I came to Fidelity for one additional interview, I was floored at how much everyone loved their job and the company, that it was impossible for me to really turn down the opportunity. And to this day, I'm so happy I went on that one additional interview. But personally, studied finance in my undergrad at Fordham and finance and management strategies for my MBA at Rutgers. Married to my husband, Mike, and we have 2 boys, Luca and Liam. I actually just returned from a multi-month maternity leave, and as a mom of a young baby and a highly energetic toddler, it certainly makes me appreciate the flexibility and the superior benefits that Fidelity provides now more than ever, which I know we'll hit in the presentation in just a little bit. So what I wanted to start with, take you through kind of what clients can expect from us. So our one-on-one guidance and strong lifelong client relationships are 2 more reasons that Fidelity is successful. We're focused on doing right by our clients, and our innovative products and services demonstrate that. We offer a wide range of planning and guidance that will be tailored to each client's individual and family needs. So first, you see here investment strategy. So a couple different ways that clients can work with us. We have, self-directed investors who come to Fidelity for our industry-leading platform and tools, the digital experience, and our low to no-cost investment options. We also have clients who really need our help building an investment plan and want to delegate all of the management to us. Then there's the clients in the middle who want to collaborate with an advisor and potentially leverage us for more of a hybrid approach. But ultimately, we'll customize the investment discussion to align with the needs of the client. Second is retirement planning. So many times, clients will associate Fidelity with retirement based on us being the #1 provider of retirement services and having such an enormous footprint in the workplace space. However, our clients are in many different life stages, and so we support them with the type of planning they need at the time. So for example, those currently accumulating for retirement may need help with saving strategies, while those in retirement or preparing for retirement may want to focus more on income planning. So no matter where the client is, we'll always provide an in-depth discussion around the risks of retirement and have exceptional tools that our advisors can use to help plan for clients' unique situations. The third you see here is income protection. So clients consistently tell us how important it is to ensure that they have the income they need to live in retirement for a variety of different reasons. We see it as our responsibility to help ensure clients have guaranteed sources of income to cover their essential expenses. Next is asset protection. So one example of this is that every investor center has an estate planning specialist or advanced planner who has their JD and is employed by Fidelity, and they can partner with these individuals and bring them in for client meetings. So while we don't draw up wills and legal documents, we do consult on clients' estate planning needs. We review their documents, and we can help them identify different strategies or needs they should consider based on their family situation. It's 100% free of charge. There's certainly no shortage of well-qualified business partners that advisors can bring into client meetings to provide an even better experience. So lastly on this slide, family assistance. You know, we have so many clients who look to us for planning around college, assisting parents, and potentially healthcare concerns. And a growing challenge many of our clients are facing are having to support both their children and parents. And it's a topic we want our clients to feel comfortable discussing with us. So while there's a lot that we offer to our clients, it's our job to determine what's most important to them and prioritize our support and planning to help them solve for those challenges that their family is facing. So let's jump to the next slide and take a look at some of the roles. So I've had the privilege of working in each of these tracks you see. And I think what's great about Fidelity is that your career doesn't always have to be a ladder, and the company provides you constant opportunities to grow beyond where your current skill set is. So what you see here are the different Investor Center career paths. First, you have the wealth management support roles. These roles support our team of advisors in many different ways. The financial representative role, the support will primarily be service-based, while the other two roles are focused on supporting the team through planning, implementing solutions, and executing on a client engagement strategy. Many times, these roles are used as a stepping stone into a wealth management career. So taking a look at the wealth management career path, there are a few roles which lead to VP level destination roles. The investment consultant doesn't work with a book of clients, where the financial consultant will work with a book of maybe 300 to 400 households. Both are focused on providing comprehensive financial plans to help clients implement solutions for their needs. But we're structured in a way that enables you to make an impact in the lives of your clients without the need to actually spend your time prospecting, which is certainly different for our industry. We'll never ask you to call friends and family, because as Damon alluded to earlier, you know, our business model generates more client opportunities than we can even support. And both of these roles are fully licensed positions with a strong recommendation to hold the Certified Financial Planner designation. And once you demonstrate success in these roles, you may move into a VP level role, either the VP Financial Consultant or the VP Wealth Planner. Now, the Wealth Planner role varies slightly in that they focus on deeper planning with clients who have a more complex financial situation. So their book size is smaller to ensure they have the capacity to basically engage more frequently with these clients. So while the VP roles may be the destination for some, there are certainly others who have a passion for coaching and leadership. For those, there are opportunities to explore our third track here, which is where Damon, Rob, and I have transitioned to. So similar to my story, a third of all branch leaders started in the entry-level role of financial representative. So if you are passionate, you're dedicated to your own personal development and willing to work hard, you can really have a bright future here at Fidelity. So next, I want to just talk a little bit about the training and coaching. So one thing I can promise you about joining Fidelity is that you will not fail due to the lack of training, coaching, or support. We have a robust training approach that provides a variety of different modes of learning and a support structure that enables all new hires to succeed. There are independent and online learnings that provide you engaging content to set the foundation and context of what you need to know. We also implement cohort training, where new hires who started around the same time in similar roles will spend weeks with a small group, learning all things Fidelity in many different ways. So as I speak to newly hired financial consultants that have gone through or are going through this process, they can't speak highly enough about how helpful it was to basically have a network of people since week one to share ideas with and apply their learning. And ongoing, one thing you must be comfortable with is that Fidelity has a coaching culture. So whether it's individual, small pod, or team-based coaching, we crave feedback because we know that'll make us better, and in turn, we'll be in a better spot to serve our clients. Next slide, I just wanted to hit on the regional centers. So in addition to the branches, we also have 8 regional sites, which Damon mentioned the locations earlier. And in these sites, there's opportunities in areas like technology or customer service, planning, or operations, many of which Fidelity will also sponsor your brokerage licenses. And overall, at Fidelity, we really look to employ individuals who uphold our cultural standards and bring diversity of thought to our teams so we can provide the experience that our clients have come to expect. And each person here at Fidelity is committed to excellence, and they're unwavering in their desire to master new skills, which enables long-term success for our clients. So the last thing that I just wanted to cover with all of you, I just want to take a little bit more time on what one can kind of expect as an associate at Fidelity. So at Fidelity, you're part of a team. You're part of the Fidelity family. You're not an army of one. And we find those individuals really who are most successful thrive in a highly collaborative environment. Diversity and inclusion is extremely important within Fidelity. It's reflected in everything that we do. It's not just about race, orientation, and gender. It goes beyond that. And diversity of thought and experience in conjunction with those is really what makes our teams great. We also have employee resource groups that provide connection and collaboration, which Rob will take you through in just a little bit. The client experience at the core of everything we do. Many organizations say it, but our actions prove that. We all truly believe it's noble work, and we strive to make an impact on client lives through each interaction. And quite frankly, it's a really fun place to work. The people and the culture are unmatched, an environment that helps people thrive and really reach their full potential. And we've led the way in flexibility. Even pre-COVID, we were operating with flexibility and work from anywhere capabilities that helped associates balance both their personal and their work lives. We know our people are the best at work when they're fulfilled out of work as well. So we want to do what we can to support that. And we have the technology to help our advisors support our clients wherever and whenever they need, whether it's through video conferencing or screen share for clients, or the work from home technology bundles we provided to all associates once COVID hit. Now, as a firm, we invest tremendously in technology each year because we know how important it is today and in our industry to be innovative and stay connected. So let me kick it over to Rob, talk a little bit more about some of the superior benefits our associates receive.
Great. Thanks, Ashley. Rob Krzyzkowski. I'm the Assistant Branch Office Leader now in the Bridgewater, New Jersey office. And like many of my colleagues, I feel very fortunate to have created a career here over the course of the last 14 years. When I first joined Fidelity back in 2006, I was just 6 months into my financial services career when my prior firm announced they'd be closing my office location. I certainly had opportunities to relocate to other offices around the tri-state area, but I really used that as an opportunity of taking a step back and really evaluate what was important to me in my next career step. I was really fortunate back in 2006, within a few weeks, I had set up interviews with 14 different companies, and Fidelity was actually the very last company to call me. So by that time, I had to make some decisions on job offers, was moving into the final interview stages with others, and I really wasn't sure if I wanted to start more of a formalized interview process that might extend out a longer period of time. However, I was really glad that I did take that interview. It ended up being one of the best career decisions that I could have made in coming to Fidelity. And it really came down to 4 primary reasons why I decided to join Fidelity. The first one was really all around the career growth potential. I started an entry-level position as a financial representative, but I personally have always been a person that's been passionate about leadership and helping others get the most out of their careers. I feel really fortunate that I've had the opportunity of working my way up through various roles and into a branch leadership position that I'm in now. The second one was the commitment to the client. I really wanted to find a firm that put the client first and offered a wide range of investment options and resources to help clients besides 1 or 2 higher cost options. I've absolutely found that with Fidelity Investments, and it's a very easy brand to be proud of, and also carry the flag day in and day out based on the services that we're offering to clients. Third, I wanted a culture of learning and collaboration, and from the moment I walked in to Fidelity, everybody made me feel extremely welcome, which I always appreciated, and it was pretty clear that my colleagues are very focused on continuous improvement, and also very focused on sharing perspectives and being open to learning new ways of doing things. The fourth piece, which I'll spend most of my time talking about today, was really the benefits. I found Fidelity's benefits to be second to none. I'm going to highlight a few here that have been particularly impactful to myself, and also some common ones that come up during interviews among candidates. So the first one, I really believe this is Fidelity's best benefit that we offer, and revolves around the retirement savings. So Fidelity offers a 7% dollar for dollar match in the 401k. There's a Roth option and also a traditional 401k option offered. The profit sharing is 10% that goes into your retirement account annually, depending on the overall health of Fidelity investments. I think back to the 2008-2009 time period, so one of the most challenging time periods for any financial firm. Fortunately, Fidelity was still a very financially strong company during that time period, and never blinked, never doubted paying that full 10% out. So I can proudly say, for the 14 years I've been with Fidelity, I've always got that full 10% profit sharing, and it's really kept me on track to keep pace with an early retirement here in the future. Paid time off. All exempt employees start with 31 vacation days, including holidays. My wife and I were personally very big travelers, and the additional vacation time here has really afforded us to take some really nice long vacations, travel a couple weeks around Europe, take extended cruises. So that's really been something that's been really important to my wife and I feel great that we've had the opportunity of doing that. Maternity, parental, and also family leave. I haven't had the opportunity of using this through my first 12 years within Fidelity, but in the last 2 years, I've used paternity and also family leave. You don't realize the impact that these benefits have on you and your family until you actually need to use them. So being able to care for loved ones for an extended period of time while not having to sacrifice pay or compensation, that was huge for me. We also have very competitive healthcare, dental coverage, workplace wellness plans, employee resource groups, which I'll hit on in a couple minutes, gift matching. So for any charitable causes that you'd like to support for a college, university, or other charitable organization, Fidelity will match those contributions for you. Help with education, and this is a multifaceted approach. So we have a lot of individuals that wish to pursue or go back to pursue their CFP, their CFA, their CEP. Fidelity covers 100% of that. On top of that, for individuals that wish to go back to get their master's degree or higher education degree, like myself, Fidelity will pay 90% of that. So really tremendous, benefit, and being in a position where I didn't have to take on additional student loan, debt in order to get through a master's program was huge. Damon already hit on certainly the compensation. Fidelity is very competitive with compensation. All of our advisors, compensation, the average advisor has continually increased over the course of the last 10 years. And that's something that's always reevaluated each year to make sure that Fidelity remains competitive. We go to the next slide. I'll talk a little bit more about the employee resource groups. So there's a number of different employee resource groups, and what this does, it connects other associates across Fidelity channels. So it doesn't matter, if you sit in Bridgewater, New Jersey, or if you're sitting out in a California office or a regional, center, you can connect with each of these groups. And these are all employee-led, groups, individuals that really share, perspectives and ideals and practices, with others. So you can see here we have, Aspire, Latino and Black employee resource group. We have a veterans employee resource group, Fidelity Pride resource group. We have a young professionals group, and we also have several women's leadership groups. And of course, we're always adding new resource groups as well. I think when I first started with Fidelity, there's only a handful, so they've definitely increased quite a bit over the years. So if there's a cause that's really important, or a specific group that you'd like to be, a part of, we're certainly all ears, and would love for, associates to participate in those organizations. Moving on to the last slide here. So as Damon, Ashley, and I mentioned, we all feel very fortunate to build a long-lasting career with Fidelity. We are a company to grow at from a rewards and performance standpoint. That we have a number of different programs available. We celebrate individual success on a quarterly, also annual basis, and some of our offices also have semi-annual awards. In addition to the awards performance plan, you can participate for eligible roles in Fidelity's private share program. And of course, you have opportunities to continually increase your compensation in each career step that you're taking. Development of our leaders. I've certainly had the opportunity of taking advantage of a number of different programs. Fidelity offers specific leadership development programs for our branch employees and also regional centers, mentorship opportunities, and certainly opportunities to get licensed before taking on these leadership roles. Last but not least, we're a company that hungers for innovation and continuous improvement. We certainly want to hang our hats on prior career success or prior success that we've had as a firm, because that may not be what translates to future growth and success. So Fidelity invests a ton of money back in technology and researching what the next big thing is. And I feel great to work at a company that's so innovative. We've had over 100 different innovations throughout our history, and a lot of those have come over the course of the last 10 or so years. As we continue to digitize the business more. So I want to thank everybody for joining us for this call today. I'm going to turn this back over to David, and he's going to start fielding some of the questions that you may have.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, and a wonderful, wonderful presentation. And do want to encourage all the audience members, please ask any questions you might have. If we can't get to them during the live session here, we're going to try to get to as many as possible. But let me kind of throw this out there as kind of a first common question we get all of the time. A lot of audience members, are already advisors, or have been in the business for some time. Can you talk a little bit about how the Fidelity's compensation structure for the sales roles differs from a traditional straight commission type structure, which is prevalent in the rest of the industry? Damon, maybe you want to take that for us?
Sure. Yeah, I could talk about it at a high level. Like I said, detailed version can be found on the website. But one of the biggest ways that it differentiates from the competition, from our competition, is the fact that we do offer a base salary, a healthy base salary in all of our advisor roles, and the variable component of the compensation structure is made up of really 4 components. The first is regarding acquisition. All of these components are aligned with the client, which is, again, why we're so proud of it. But acquisition, we believe Fidelity is the best place for our clients to do business. So we compensate advisors when they consolidate assets on Fidelity's platform. Implementation of solutions is another piece of it, to development, obviously through comprehensive financial planning and advice that we provide. We compensate advisors to help clients get invested in these various solutions, and it's an unbiased approach, right? So if it's a mutual fund we're talking about, obviously we're a mutual fund company. We don't compensate differently for if an advisor moves a client into a Fidelity fund versus a non-Fidelity fund. Same goes for ETFs, insurance, annuity solutions, et cetera. Then there is the loyalty component of the compensation structure, which focuses on our clients' feedback. So we survey our clients annually, and their feedback matters greatly. So that's the third component. And finally, the fourth is around, we call it, engagement, retention or engagement. And this is where, as advisors grow their books over time, they are compensated. They are compensated better as time goes on, as they grow their books organically. And I don't know if Ashley, Rob, there's anything else you'd want to add that I missed.
I think you hit it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, that's it. Okay, well, great. All right. Well, real quick, next question is, talk a little bit about the hiring process and, what are some of the types of opportunities that are available in New Jersey now and likely in the future? We do know that it's pretty dynamic. You guys are, always having needs. If you don't have an opening today, you might have one next week. So we do encourage everybody to certainly, if they have an interest in Fidelity, to talk with them. But I guess, can you talk a little bit about what the standard hiring process looks like? And, we can talk a little bit about maybe some of the various opportunities that you see available as well right now.
Sure, Rob, you want to take the first crack at that one?
Sure, absolutely, Damon. So we typically use a 3-step process. The first conversation is really all about getting to know, our prospective candidates. Second step is going through more of a formalized interview process where we're asking, more questions just regarding, experience, working with clients, financial planning acumen. And then the third, interview, is really more about better understanding, the opportunity, determining potential fit. So we'd have you meet some of our potential, team members. That's the process that certainly the majority of our manager population would really use. The first step, though, I would encourage anybody can go on fidelity.com/careers, and you would have an opportunity to take a look at all the listings spread across the United States and our regional centers and individual branches. And if there is something that is of interest to you, you can certainly go ahead and apply. You'd likely be hearing from one of our human resource contacts, first in terms of pre-screening, and then we'd have an interview, set up with us.
Very good. And just to reiterate, even if there's not any opportunities today, it's very dynamic. There's constantly being added. So you want to make sure that, if you are interested in talking with Fidelity, we're going to be sending you instructions after the event on how to best do that as well. And Damon, do you all anticipate the best you can, some additional openings kind of coming into maybe first quarter of 2021 and maybe the latter half of this year?
Yeah, listen, absolutely. So you may or may not see positions posted online right now. It doesn't mean that there aren't positions or aren't positions coming. In 3.5 years in this role, there has not been a time where we didn't have a position. So, I'm confident that if we find a strong candidate for the role, there's an opportunity to make a hire.
Yeah, very good. So we do want to encourage everybody to not get discouraged if they don't see anything immediately on the site. Next, kind of another part of this question or a two-part question. What role typically in the branches is Fidelity most aggressively hiring, and what does a typical new hire profile look like for Fidelity, to that role?
You want to take a crack, Ash?
Absolutely. So I think currently what we're hiring most aggressively for is the advisor role or the financial consultant role. We've added a lot of great people this year, and I imagine that that's a place where we'll continue to need the support to help serve our clients. In regards to, I guess, the profile for the role, coming into that role, it's a high-speed, fast-paced role that we want anyone coming in to be able to serve our clients in an exceptional way. So we're definitely looking for people with experience handling and managing larger books. Typically, we're hiring people with their CFP or Certified Financial Planning designation. So people that have similar experience outside and being able to, replicate it, learn our systems, learn our process, and coming in that way. Now, we do have other career paths. If you're not doing something similar to that advisor role here, that can help prepare you for that role. So there's definitely other entry points if you don't currently fit sort of that profile we're looking for in the financial consultant role.
Very good. Thanks so much, Ash.
Yeah, thanks, Ash. David, I'm just going to add one thing because I also saw another question pop, which I think is a good segue. So Ashley hit it. I think there are multiple entry points, and there are different sort of, I don't know, flavors is the right word, of the advisor path. So we, I don't know who's out there right now, right? So we hire people who are resuming their career, who have maybe been out of the workforce for a number of years. We'll hire them into a financial consultant sort of training program. We've hired folks who are changing careers. Maybe they're not in financial services at all. And I'm looking at this question regarding inactive licenses. So potentially, if it's a career change, you might be able to come into the training program, get licensed, become an advisor in 12 to 15 months. And again, in terms of just that question on inactive licensing, The question, sorry, I don't know if everybody can see it. The question was, what do you do with folks how do we bring folks in with inactive licenses, either into that career changer advisor program or into one of those support roles that Ashley mentioned. The financial representative is typically where you would start in that case. And then we'd move you along as you were to get those licenses and sort of prove yourself in the organization.
Very good. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about somebody, maybe they're coming over from another firm, they're fully licensed. What kind of training or onboarding does Fidelity offer for the financial consultant role to help kind of bring them up to speed on the Fidelity process and help them hit the ground running? Do you have a formalized process for that? And I guess maybe talk a little bit about what that looks like.
Ash, I know you have the training slide. Do you want to build on that one as well?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that we have probably the best training, coaching, and support for new hires. So as someone coming into the organization, the first experience that you'll have is through our cohort training. So you'll be in a small group, maybe 12 to 15 people, and you'll go through weeks and months of training that all builds on itself. So that'll be for the majority of the week. You'll have the learnings, and then you'll have the application. So you'll be able to practice through role plays, get better, and then it'll kind of all come together towards the end of the training. So that's one aspect of it. But that's really been invaluable, being able to be part of that group and keep building and working on the skills that you need. There's also like local training and support. So as you're brought onto a new team, you'll have a manager, you'll have a regional planning consultant who's sort of like a branch coach. So these people will all be very involved in regards to making sure that you're on track, that you have the resources you need to get up and running, so that you can help serve our clients in the right way as quickly as possible. It's also a really collaborative environment. So Fidelity is a company where if one advisor is sitting next door to another advisor, they both want the other person to be as successful as they can. So it's not competitive in a way that it's cutthroat. So the peers and your teammates are always actively trying to find ways to support you to grow and get better as well. In addition to that, you'll have online trainings. So we do provide a ton of resources online. That'll help set a lot of the foundation and the context. And then there'll be some on the job, right? So you'll observe appointments. Again, you'll do role plays, and all of that in a very, very structured training program has gotten many of our external financial consultants up and ready in a very efficient amount of time.
Okay, very good. Here's another question here. It looks like this is a career changer potentially. Looks like they have a background in HR as well as ARAP. So, where would somebody like that fit in with Fidelity? And I guess maybe even talk a little bit about some of the support roles in some of the branches and kind of what those look like as well.
Rob, you want to take a crack?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the most important thing, for us is we want to make sure that we find the right role for you where you're going to be where you feel fulfilled. We're primarily in a branch organization are hiring, advisors and support staff. But if you're an individual that does have, passion around financial services and servicing, clients, we'd certainly love to have a conversation, with you. If you don't have a lot of financial planning background or acumen, we'd likely start you in some of the entry level, roles, and then you have an opportunity of working up to a full-fledged financial, consultant role. If there's another passion that you have, I really see it as our duty to make sure that we get you in contact with the right hiring manager in the field or the area that you enjoy. We're such a diversified company in the regional centers and throughout the branch organization. There's plenty of certainly human resource positions, available. That's something an area that you're also passionate about. Heather, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to add, on that, piece, since that's in your realm too.
Yes, I was just going to say, it's very important that you check fidelitycareers.com. You can search for openings in the different business areas that we have. And when you do apply directly, your resume does go to the appropriate recruiter and hiring manager for the opportunity, and they're able to review it there. So definitely setting up some searches. So if there's certain areas you're interested in, Fidelity Careers can actually email you openings. That would be my recommendation.
Very good. Thank you, Heather. That's great. That's all the formal questions we have at the moment here. If anybody has any other ones, please. Oh, there we go. Never mind. All right. So here we go. We got some more time. So next question, do you need to take the 7 and 66 again if they expire? What about the 63 and 65? I'll answer that one. Yes, FINRA may offer an exception. That's something between you would have to check with them. I know it's kind of hard to do, but most likely you would have to go through the licensing process again. I think if anybody else has anything to add to that, I think that's the.
Nope, that's right.
Yep. So we'll move to the next one here. Can somebody who lives in New York apply for a position with New Jersey?
Sure.
Absolutely. Reverse commute. So if you can handle
I think that brings up a good point too. We do expect, so we, Ashley talked about flexibility, work from anywhere. So long as you can commute to the office, doesn't have to be every single day. But we would expect, a physical presence in the location that you do work out of. Not currently necessarily, but when things restore to normal.
Right. But there are offices, and you all had showed a map earlier, all over the state of New Jersey, even up in, some of the very close to New York and the surrounding areas. So certainly pick one that is closest to you and go from there. So we'll move on to that one. Talking about remote positions, do we know how much longer that the positions will be remote, and have they given any guidance on that?
Sure. Without providing too much detail here, there is no date. There's no date of when everyone is expected to return. So probably your guess is as good as ours at this point, but there's no talks currently of you need to go back into the office.
Okay, very good. So training and everything right now, that's a nice segue. How do we handle, if you hire somebody for a branch, are they able to get onboarded and start and be trained and everything via Zoom and your other technological platforms, until a return to the office?
Sure. I'm happy to take that one as well. So what Ashley talked about, which was the cohort experience, 6 months of intensive training, that started right at the beginning of the pandemic. We used to do it a bit differently. It wasn't because of the pandemic. The plan was to do this all along. So the only thing we've seen is in the current model is onboarding through the pandemic, onboarding virtually, and it has been tremendous in terms of the pace at which we've seen new advisors develop. I talked to a new advisor yesterday who's been here 3 months. They're scheduling appointments for next week with clients, which is a little faster. I mean, it's not, we probably saw it took a little bit longer, and again, everybody's different in terms of their experience, but no, it's gone fantastic. It's all virtual. It probably would have been mostly at least virtual anyhow. So not too much of a difference, quite frankly.
Right. As far as interaction with clients go, how have they been adapting to meeting with you all virtually like that? Do you feel like it's been a positive experience, and are they liking this kind of interaction, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Ashley, you want to take a stab at that one?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I think it was everyone working through how to figure it out right in the beginning. But as soon as you can see your advisor face to face, you know, we've had really, really positive feedback from clients. It allows them to still connect, share their story, and work well together. So we've been meeting even more clients than we had before, virtually, of course. But I think it's been really effective, and I think our clients certainly appreciate it and certainly understand the limitations at this time.
Yeah, that's great. And that's a nice segue into maybe talking in general about Fidelity's growth during all of this. You are already on a very you know, tremendous growth path anyway, but then COVID hits and all the disruption in the market, and now more than ever, you know, Fidelity's, you know, you literally have more clients than you know what to do with, and most of the growth you're experiencing is from you know, client growth. Can you talk a little bit about maybe that the new positions that you all are adding are really, you know, a result of growth and not attrition or something like that?
Yeah, I can take that one. Our attrition rates are in the single digits for advisor roles, which is a huge improvement, quite frankly, for a number of reasons. But yeah, there is some attrition. For sometimes it doesn't work out. You know, someone moves on to a different career or a different firm. More often when there's attrition, it's because they do something else within the organization, like getting back to the career paths that Ashley talked through. So we've experienced tremendous growth, and we continue to grow. And I think this ties into a question I'm seeing on the screen, which is, are there disadvantages or advantages to particular branches, regardless, you know, other than the commute? And that's just it, right? We have thousands of clients in every branch territory that we could go to and hand a book to a new advisor. Like I said, 300 to 400 households we hand to new advisors. We can do that at any branch right now. When we couldn't, we wouldn't hire there. So the opportunity, we don't go to locations that there's not opportunity, and we don't hire in locations if there's no opportunity. That hasn't been a problem yet for us. It probably never will be, quite frankly. So yes, all of the hiring, most of the hiring is done as a result of growing.
That's great. Yeah, and that's a big difference from the rest of the industry. This is not a start with Fidelity and build a book of business over time, although, you know, you're giving a book of business to develop those relationships over time. So totally different model. I think that's all the questions we have right now. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, hold on. How do you measure the success the first 6 months to a year at Fidelity? It's a good question. So what does success look like for somebody just starting at Fidelity, let's say within the first year?
I'll take a stab again, and Ashley and Rob, feel free to back me up. I think, listen, the first 6 months to a year, it's all about how well you're picking up on what we're coaching you to, right? We hire for coachability, and that's what happens in the first 6 to 12 months. Coaching always happens; it never goes away. So we talked about the training, the onboarding. It's not as though once you get through it, you are just here and you've arrived. That never happens. Training continues forever while you're at Fidelity. Yeah, I think it's how well are you picking up what we're coaching you to. There's observations, there's stand and delivers. Eventually we put you in front of clients and we observe those meetings. So it's not about, you know, results or things of that nature in the first 12 months. It's just acclimating to the culture and acclimating to the processes that we're putting in place, the technology, et cetera. Rob, Ash, anything you'd add?
No, hey, David, I think, you know, certainly, you know, spot on, you know, with that. It's more about, you know, again, your continued learning and growth. Beyond that, once you get beyond, you know, 12, you know, months, every one of our team members has their own personal definition of success and, you know, truly makes their own goals. So it's truly, you know, bottoms up based on, you know, what they'd like to achieve, you know, for them and their family, you know, outside the office. So it's a really unique differentiator, you know, for, you know, Fidelity versus, you know, other companies, and in terms of setting some of your own, you know, goals.
Okay. Very good. Thanks so much. That's great, guys. I think we are going to be done taking any more questions. If you have any more, please ask them, and we'll make sure somebody from Fidelity gets back in touch with you directly. But would anybody like to close with some thoughts here before we wrap things up? And Damon, we'll start with you.
Did this last time and I forgot, so I don't have anything prepared. But no, listen, thanks so much for joining us today. Listen, like I think all of us said, we're just so thrilled to be here. You know, at Fidelity, every day is better than yesterday, quite frankly. So you know, if you do choose to pursue opportunities, it'll be the best decision you ever made, quite frankly. And I know we all feel that way.
Very good. Thanks so much. And do want to let all the audience members know that we are recording this. Heather had pointed out that, as you'll see here on this last slide, fidelitycareers.com is a great place to find information about Fidelity opportunities. Again, just because there's opportunities not listed right now doesn't mean there won't be some tomorrow or next week. So it's a very dynamic, the positions that are opening up. So we encourage you to check that often. We are also going to send you instructions on, you know, how to go through the application process as well, and we'll get that out to you later today as well. This webinar has been recorded. We will be sending a link out, and we appreciate the panelists' time today. Thank you guys so much for a great presentation, and we appreciate all of the audience members' time today for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for this call. So that concludes today's featured webinar, and hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.